The year is 2026, and the ground beneath your retirement security has shifted. While headlines focus on market volatility, a quiet, systemic change is rewriting the rules of your Social Security benefits. Every single day, thousands of Americans remain unaware that they are leaving money on the table, money that is rightfully theirs yet remains unclaimed due to a fundamental lack of transparency within the administrative process. I'm Dr. Collins, and I have spent years helping seniors navigate the dense maze of federal bureaucracy. What I see happening right now is not an accident. It is a structural silence. The Social Security Administration does not proactively notify you when a specific box on an application form could yield an extra $400 each month. They rely on your silence to balance their books, while your purchasing power erodes under the weight of rising costs. You have spent a lifetime contributing to this system. You did your part. Now the complexity of the paperwork is being used as a barrier to prevent you from accessing the full extent of your earned benefits. Many believe that the system is automated, that it works in your favor by default, and that you are already receiving the maximum amount allowed by law. I am here to tell you that this assumption is costing you thousands of dollars annually. What if I told you that your own birth year determines whether you are being robbed of $4,800 each year? Are you in the safe group or the victim list? Let's find out. Think your birth year is just a number on a driver's license? That is exactly where the system wants you to stay. In the world of Social Security, your birth year functions like a master key. It determines which doors to financial freedom are unlocked for you and which ones are bolted shut. If you were born before 1954, your retirement landscape was built on promises that no longer apply to those coming behind you. You likely hold the keys to legacy benefits that the administration barely mentions today. But if you were born between 1955 and 1959, you are standing in the middle of a shifting tide. You are the cohort caught in the transition phase of the full retirement age, often facing silent reductions if you file even a day too early. Then there is the 1960 to 1965 group. You are the target of the new complex math. Most of you assume the system knows when you should retire. You trust the agency to give you the signal. But the agency does not provide signals. They provide options, and most of them favor the depletion of your lifetime earnings. If you were born after 1966, you are navigating the most aggressive cost of living adjustments we have seen in decades. You are the group most at risk of benefit erosion. You think the system is blind to your age? It is not. It is calculated. If you were born before 1966, the math just shifted against you. And frankly, knowing the difference is the only thing standing between your dignity and a forced, premature reliance on a system designed to ignore your actual needs. If you were born before 1954, your retirement landscape was built on promises that no longer apply to those coming behind you. You likely hold the keys to legacy benefits that the administration barely mentions today. But if you were born between 1955 and 1959, you are standing in the middle of a shifting tide. You are the cohort caught in the transition phase of the full retirement age, often facing silent reductions if you file even a day too early. The silence is not an accident. It is a calculated design. You might assume the Social Security Administration exists to guide you, to ensure you claim every cent of the benefits you earned over decades of hard labor. But look closer at their manual. You will find no legal mandate requiring them to inform you of unclaimed benefits. They are not your financial advisors. They are administrators of a ledger. And if you fail to check a box or submit a specific form, that money simply stays in their vault. It is a policy of quiet indifference. Millions of seniors walk away from thousands of dollars annually, not because they are ineligible, but because the system expects you to be the one who knows what to ask for. They provide the maze, but they refuse to provide the map. If you wait for a letter in the mail or for a representative to volunteer the information, you will wait until the end of your retirement. I am Dr. Collins, and as a retired benefits advisor, I have seen this architecture of apathy destroy the financial security of families who did everything right. The system relies on your passivity. It relies on the assumption that you will accept the status quo without question. But you are not just a file number in a federal database. You are a person with rights to your own capital. If you think the agency is watching out for your best interests, you are misreading the room. The money is sitting in a vault, and the key is a document they hope you never find. Ready to see the form they tried to hide? Most people view their Social Security claim as a singular event, a fixed destination they reach once they hit age 67. This is the exact misconception that keeps thousands of dollars in annual benefits locked inside the federal vault. You are operating under the assumption that your benefit check is solely a reflection of your own lifetime earnings. The reality? You might be entitled to an additional 50% of your spouse's benefit amount. This is not some obscure loophole. It is a fundamental provision of the Social Security Act. Yet, millions of married couples never coordinate their claim dates. They file in isolation, unaware that their individual decisions are actively cannibalizing their total household income. The reality? You might be entitled to an additional 50% of your spouse's benefit amount. This is not some obscure loophole. It is a fundamental provision of the Social Security Act. Yet millions of married couples never coordinate their claim dates. They file in isolation, unaware that their individual decisions are actively cannibalizing their total household income. Dr. Collins, retired U.S. benefits advisor here. I have seen couples forfeit over $500 every single month simply because one partner filed a year too early without consulting the other's earnings record. The system is designed for you to file independently, and it certainly won't prompt you to check if your spouse's record offers a higher payout. That burden falls entirely on you. If you think the agency is watching out for your best interests, you are misreading the room. The money is sitting in a vault, and the key is a document they hope you never find. But what if you could retroactively correct a filing error that has already cost you years of higher payments? If you believe this conversation ends with standard filing procedures, you are about to be shocked. The strategy for optimizing spousal claims requires more than just filling out a box. It requires a surgical approach to timing. One signature is what? $500 a month. Why are you waiting until 67 when you could have unlocked this years ago? The transition from a two-income household to a singular life is a profound change. Yet the Social Security system often treats this transition as a cold, administrative adjustment rather than a lifeline. If you are a widow or widower, you are navigating an administrative labyrinth designed by people who assume you know the rules of engagement. Many believe that when a spouse passes, the survivor must immediately claim their own retirement benefits. This is a common misconception that acts as a silent drain on your long-term wealth. The reality is that your survivor benefit and your own retirement benefit are two separate pots of money. The system allows you to strategically sequence these claims to your advantage. Most people rush to claim their own retirement at 62, often triggered by emotional distress or immediate financial pressure, unaware that they are permanently locking in at a lower payout. If you are 60 years old, you have reached the critical pivot point where you can begin collecting a portion of your late spouse's benefits while allowing your own personal retirement account to continue its growth trajectory until age 70. By delaying your own claim, you are essentially buying yourself a higher monthly check for the rest of your life. This is not a loophole. It is a fundamental aspect of Social Security planning that remains largely misunderstood. The bureaucracy remains silent because they have no mandate to coach you on the most profitable path. They simply process what you file. If you file incorrectly, they will not call to fix it. But here is where the situation becomes critical for your future stability. Most widows claim too early. It is a trap. I will show you how to let your own retirement grow while you collect their legacy. If you spent your life serving the public, teaching our children, extinguishing fires, or patrolling our streets, you earned your pension through sweat and dedication. Yet many of you are facing a financial penalty that feels like a betrayal of that service. I am talking about the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. These rules do not just lower your monthly checks. They can dismantle the retirement security you spent decades building. For years, the system has operated in the shadows, leaving public servants to wonder why their Social Security checks are a fraction of what they expected. The bureaucracy doesn't send out letters explaining how to bypass these penalties. They wait for you to file, then automatically apply the reduction. It is a quiet, administrative trap that has cost thousands of educators and first responders their rightful retirement income. But here's the turning point. As we approach 2026, legislative pressure is mounting. Recent discussions in Washington regarding the repeal of WEP and GPO are gaining unprecedented traction. This isn't just talk. There are specific pathways for potential back pay and retroactive adjustments that many are completely unaware of. You deserve every penny you worked for, not a calculated reduction because your pension comes from a non-covered position. If you think the current system is set in stone, you are missing the leverage you hold. We are talking about thousands of dollars in lost annual income that could be reclaimed by those who know how to navigate the evolving legislative landscape. You served your community with honor, but the government penalized your pension for it. Is your sector finally getting the refund it deserves? Stay with me, because how you structure your filing in the coming months could change everything. Look around your house. You have drawers full of receipts, old statements, and forgotten mail. Buried within that clutter, there is likely a Medicare Advantage card that could be worth $1,200 a year in OTC credits. Most seniors view these cards as simple insurance tools, but the insurance companies are counting on your silence. If you don't spend those OTC allowances on everyday health essentials like pain relief, vitamins, or medical supplies, the insurers simply reclaim that money when the clock strikes midnight on your policy year. They aren't going to call you to remind you to spend it. They aren't going to send you a refund check for unused balances. It is your money, yet it is currently sitting in a digital vault waiting for the expiration date to reset. Think about the compounding effect of these unclaimed benefits. We are talking about hundreds of dollars every single year that could cover your out-of-pocket costs, yet the system is designed to keep you in the dark about how to utilize them fully. You are not just a policyholder, you are a consumer with rights. If you have noticed your Social Security checks are being docked for Medicare Part B premiums that feel inflated, you need to know about Form SSA.44. This is your leverage against the IRMAA surcharge. If you have experienced a life-changing event, like retirement or a significant loss of income, this form acts as your formal request to recalculate those premiums. But here is where most people falter. They assume the system is infallible and that the agencies have already calculated their costs correctly. They are wrong. Every day you wait, they keep your money. Do you want to be the victim of the system or the one who forces it to pay up? Subscribe now for more insights from Dr. Collins, retired U.S. benefits advisor, to protect your future.